This is the unboxing and setup of my new dental photography gear and accessories for the Canon R10. I was so excited to finally open this camera. I got it after signing up for a dental photography course, notably the Focus Bounce course, which I will link at the bottom of the video. And this was the recommended setup for those in a medium budget, so I did splash out a little bit on this. It wasn't the highest range spec, but this is definitely a spec that was recommended by the course providers. I was really aiming to upgrade my dental photography and take some really professional and as well as artistic dental photographs, so this is why I ended up upgrading my kit. Another reason is that my current kit is really quite heavy, and I definitely noticed the difference after switching to this setup. So here I am, first of all, opening all the gear. The box of the actual camera comes well packed, really light, which was really good sign, just because it already showed that the camera itself is quite light. I bought the camera off of Amazon on a discount at the time that they had, and I held on to it until I had all the components so that I could film this unboxing, and it was really hard for me not to get straight in there. So first thing I did is definitely charge the camera, and it only came with one battery, but I bought a second spare battery which I haven't shown. Now, next thing I tried to do is actually try to attach the strap, but I found that really tricky and I haven't attached it. And I found that since using it, I don't really need the strap because I tend to photograph one-handed. I don't tend to like it hanging off my neck anyway because I have twin flashes attached. And with my previous camera, I used to have it dangling off and sometimes accidentally kind of tapped the patients with it as I got close to them or leaned over. So yeah, it was a good thing that in the end I gave up on trying to attach the strap. So here I am now opening the camera, and the body feels really nice and matte. It feels so smooth. It's really light to handle and it's perfect size fit in my hand. I have quite a small hand. I am size small gloves and I have quite petite hands, and this feels really nice and comfortable for my hand size. I don't know how it would feel for somebody with bigger hands, but for my hand size it feels really good. Here I am again trying to do the strap, which I then subsequently gave up on. Next thing I bought was the adapter. Now, the course recommended using a shorter macro lens than the one I had previously, and in order to use that you needed an adapter to attach old style Canon lenses. So this is what I had, the EF-EOS R adapter. This allowed me to mount the older style lens to the camera. The adapter itself adds to the weight. The adapter is 110 grams, but as I will show towards the end in terms of weight comparison, this is still a lot lighter than my old camera setup. So even though it makes the lens slightly longer by having an adapter in between the camera and the lens, I found that I didn't really notice this essentially, so I really like this setup in the end. Attaching the lens the lens adapter is actually really straightforward and easy to do. It goes right on. They have little red tabs that show you exactly where to click it in, so I found that really easy and simple to do. The only thing I found annoying is having all these hood caps, so I decided to keep that in one of the little bags that it came with, and that went in my camera bag generally. Now, throughout the week I tend to leave the camera set up but pack it down at the end of the week and take it home with me because I use the camera for other things as well. Next thing I did then was to actually attach the macro lens. Once again, really easy to attach, and when I took it out the box I noticed immediately how light it was, which was such a huge relief. I actually used to get quite bad hand ache holding my previous camera, just because when I'm taking my dental photography photos I do have one nurse on hand to help me, but the way I have it set up is that the patient is usually holding the cheek retractors. I have one nurse holding the mirrors, and I might be holding a second retractor in a different position, for example to retract the lips, or I might be blowing air onto it if I haven't remembered to warm up mirrors or for any other reasons, or to, for example, blow saliva out the way. So I usually have the camera in one hand, and having a light camera turned out to be quite important because, like I said, after taking lots of photos throughout the day, I would end up with a sore wrist. So I really liked how light the entire setup felt compared to my old camera, even with the camera, the adapter and the lens. Now bear in mind, at this point I haven't yet added the twin flash, so that adds the weight of it, but I can already see how much lighter it is. The other thing I really liked is how much smaller it is. With macro photography, obviously you're getting quite close to the patient, and actually the size of the camera makes a big difference in terms of comfort and proximity. So I like the smallness, the relative smallness of this camera as well. So here you can see a size comparison of my old camera. So my old camera was a Nikon D5300 with a Sigma 105mm lens, whilst the new one is the Canon R10 with a Canon 60mm lens. And as you can see immediately, the size is significantly different and they definitely are heavier. So just some information on the weight. The old camera, the Nikon D5300, the body itself weighed 480 grams. Then the lens weighed 715 grams, so a lot of the weight was in the lens, and that was a total of 1.2 kg without the the twin flash attached, so that was really quite heavy. Whilst with the new Canon R10, the body is 426 grams, the adapter 110 and the lens 330, so altogether that is only 866 grams, a saving of over 400 grams, and that was definitely noticeable when using the two. So I actually loved how much lighter this was. I have bracket flash adapters, which I actually got from AliExpress. I will link that down here as well because I found that the owl bracket was quite expensive and I'm a bargain hunter, so I found these on AliExpress at a really reasonable price. And when I bought them, I didn't actually realise that the attachment again was for my old flashes for my Nikon, so it didn't actually fit. I didn't think to check whether or not it would fit the flashes for the Canon, so as you will see, I attempt to connect it and it doesn't fit. Now this flash actually has a ring attachment, but I really liked using the bracket, which is why I bought it. The course actually recommends using the ring attachment, but I'm just a huge fan of the bracket and I like the way it uses and it works, and I like spreading the flashes out into different directions, different positions. So I'm definitely going to keep on using that, and I ended up having to buy an additional attachment to be able to connect the twin flashes onto it. Now previously on my old camera I had a wireless twin flash, however the course recommended getting a wired flash, and actually I found that it's a lot more reliable. It's nice not to have to worry about the connection of the flashes and know that they are directly connected and they will actually fire each time, and actually the wires are not that obstructive, and because of the way they are and they're quite tightly coiled, they don't have to stretch too far and they're not dangling about, so I found them actually quite nice, and I would definitely recommend getting a wired one versus a wireless, because I found that I had a lot more issues with the wireless ones. Saying that, this flash is a lot higher quality compared to the one I have, so it may have just been a quality issues. A second thing is that I didn't have good quality batteries with my previous flash, so again, all these things may not be fair comments. This time round I got much better quality batteries for the flash, as they drain the battery quite a lot, and the Canon twin flash is much higher quality, so that in itself may account for the better experience. So yeah, so here I am trying to attach the flashes and realise it doesn't fit, so goodbye to that. And like I said, I bought separate attachments and that all is now connected and works great. And I thought I'd have to buy a whole new bracket, but no, I just had to buy a separate attachment. These are diffusers that you can put over the flashes that I didn't end up using, because with the course they recommend using their card diffusers, which is really good. So I just decided to store these in case I decide to use them at some point in the future. And here you have the ring attachment should you want to connect the flash directly to the ring. Now, because I didn't have the right attachment for the bracket, I decided to attach it to this to test the flash function. So overall, everything was quite simple to connect. I was trying to attach it like a ring flash, but then I realized that it's clip, it's not screw on, because I used to have a ring flash. But once I had figured that part out, it's all really easy to connect and attach, and really smooth process really. So the build quality is really good. It feels quite lightweight but still very sturdy, so I really like that. So if you do decide to use this instead of a bracket, then it's a great product, and it's all quite compact and just well contained. It has a good build quality. So here is everything attached. It's really easy to maneuver the position of the lights to where you might want them. I also really like the matte feel of the camera. As you might see me stroking it a few times, it actually feels really nice to touch. Yeah, I kept on doing that, and now I still do that as I use it. It actually feels really nice and soft. The other thing is I just kept on marveling at how light it was. I'm definitely not going to get wrist ache after using this one, so it's really light and comfortable. The last thing I want to show you is this lovely bag that I got, and also a battery box, because I like to have things organised inside. So in the bag I've got my battery charger. I ended up getting with the Ikea Ladda Batteries. The course recommended the Loop batteries, but I had done some research and found that these were considered to be just as good quality as the Loop, and so far they have proven to be the case. I haven't had any battery issues. I got the charger that matches with it, and I also got this awesome battery box as well, which I found really good for storing both the AA and AAA batteries that you need for the flash system. Now the bag I love because it has the two compartments. The bottom compartment actually opens downwards, so in there is where I put the camera, the lens separately, the bag with all the hoods in there, and the batteries and chargers, and on the top I put the flash system. I also have a lens cap for my portrait photos, a lens hood, sorry, for my portrait photos, and a lint-free cloth to wipe away before I take any photos. I love the size of the bag. It's really nice and compact, not too big. I don't like big bags. I'm a bit of a bag lady when I go to work. I carry so many things, so I really like the size of this. It also has a USB charging point inside, but I don't ever see when I'm going to use that. But it's there. I always see these in bags, but I've never once used one. I don't know, comment if you've used one before. But overall, I really like the different sections. There's a lot of space to put things in a reasonable sized bag. And like I said, I like the way the bottom part swings downwards, so you can take out the different sections. Then you've got the other compartment on top where I store my lenses. Sorry, where I store my flash system. And it's really easy to take everything out and see clearly, to assemble it at the beginning of each week and to pack it down. So it's just the right amount of compartments for everything I've got. The strap at the back is to attach it to suitcases and things like that. I don't really do that, but I might attach it to other bags because, like I said, I travel with a lot. Lastly, I'm going to share a couple of photos I've taken with this. They're a bit, not gory, but you know, they're kind of the non-aesthetic dental photography photos. So if you're a bit squeamish with dentistry, then you might want to end here. But here are 3 photos I took with the camera as soon as I got it, and I absolutely love the quality of it. Really great with the flash. So I hope you found this video useful, and yeah, if you want to get the R10, Canon R10, I would highly recommend it. Thanks for watching. Bye.